What is up, YouTube? Bobbles and Ball Cards back with another video. Gonna give everyone a few moments to get on. I shared the link in the Facebook group if anybody wanted to pop on and check this out. This is going to be the SGC grade reveal. I called it the early May. This one was received in, I think it was like May 4th they put on there. It was somewhere in that range. And it's finished up, shipped out yesterday. We got it back today. The other order that, the last order that I did a preview for, which was at the end of May, that one is, I think that was checked in June 5th, and it is currently sitting in post-grading, which I was surprised to see, because I am guessing that one must have jumped ahead or something. I don't know. Maybe they're just rolling along right now, but from some other things I've seen, I didn't expect it to be in post-grading already. So whenever that one gets finished, we will be doing a grade reveal for it. It only has 2 people in it. It's more cards than this one, but it only has 2 people. But you're more than welcome to come and check that one out if you choose. That will be the final SGC grade reveal. So I'll wait for folks if they want to hop on. If anybody's got any questions or anything like that, if anybody, I'm going to do a video discussing the recent little clip with Nat Turner. Also, I want to touch on a little bit on a video that I seen Clemente Collector do. I thought was very well. I watched Dustin's video that he did. There's been some other discussions about everything, and I did a recording with John Newman from Sports Card Nation podcast. We've recorded that last night. He said it's going to be broken into 2 parts, and we did talk. It wasn't all SGC, but we did talk a good bit about it. He's also a bulk submitter for SGC, and but I didn't think about it. He said it's going to be July 18th when it airs, July 18th and the 25th. Who knows where we're going to be at that point. Also, you know, that's going to be people going into the national and stuff. So the topic might be already, you know, heavily discussed already by then. So I don't know what more that'll add to it. But it was a good conversation. And it wasn't all about SGC. So go check that out when he drops that. Anyways, I haven't talked to folks since the phone call came and I did the video discussing about the changes where bulk submitters no longer had the discounted rate. Actually, me and the missus went on vacation last week. We went to the beach, had a good time, and I haven't done any further videos or anything like that. So I want to clarify a couple things. There was a comment made that my business was wiped out. My business was not wiped out. This was a personal decision because we have never charged more than SGC themselves have charged. And to me, as a consumer, I've always tried to look at this as how would I feel if I was using a bulk submitter? And I wouldn't have any interest. Like, first of all, I've never used a bulk submitter of any sort. I didn't never expect to be one. So when I'm looking at it from my angle, I would not pay someone else to do something more than I could pay myself to do it on my own. So when I look at it and there's no way for me to do it unless I charge everybody more, and I've had people already reach out saying, hey, we would pay you more. I get that because especially the local people, there is a convenience aspect because they aren't shipping. They're not, paying shipping down and back. But to continue on with this, it takes, it takes a lot of time. There's costs involved with it. And unless I had people just here locally that were submitting a significant amount constantly that wanted to pay more, it just really wouldn't, like, I don't know how we would manage it, because we've always scheduled the submissions. That way people knew when to get us the cards here in time. We would do the previews, we would ship them out. It was a process. And if I continued doing it and I only got 20 cards or 10 cards, obviously I couldn't send a submission in. So I didn't want to put others in a predicament where they felt like they had to submit. And I didn't want to put ourselves in a predicament of not knowing when or if we would have enough quantity to even send an order out. Also, again, looking at it how I would be as a consumer, I would not want to pay anyone more than it would cost me to submit myself. There was a comment that said, tired of all the drama queen, nature, just send the card yourself. I wasn't being a drama queen. I was sharing information and discussing the changes in transparency and in my feelings. Everyone has always had the ability to send themselves. In fact, I know many people. There's people that tell me, hey, I just sent a batch out because I didn't want to wait for the next submission that you had scheduled. I've never had a problem with that. I know there's people that have used other bulk submitters. They've tried other bulk submitters out. They usually came back and used us. I was okay with that, right? We did this to help folks out. It wasn't you had to submit this many, you had to submit it was never anything like that. And so to see some of the comments, it was like kind of hilarious, to be honest. This by far is not an income for me, by no means. If I was surviving off of these orders, especially over the last few years, something is really wrong. So just put it that way, because I can assure you, this order here is like 112 cards. One of them didn't even get graded, so you bump that down to 111. That's not paying my bills. So this was not a business move. This was really just, I had quit before, and a lot of people were like, I hope this isn't the last one and all of that. And we were able to make things work. This time, with all of the changes and everything else, like I said, I'm not going to charge people more than you can do it yourself. It doesn't make any sense. You can submit to SGC at $15 a card. Depending on how many you send, shipping down, even with insurance and stuff, if you're using pirate ship or whatever, you're probably going to be looking at anywhere from $10 to $15 unless you have a really large order. If you overnight, you're probably going to be looking on just a small personal level, probably, I don't know. Overnight down for me on the bulk orders was normally say $100 in most cases. So, you can kind of gauge how many you have. You could overnight down there. The return shipping, I know it's done a little bit different on personal orders rather than the bulk subs, but even still, we overnighted back. So, there's other submitters still also going to be doing it. So there's options out there if folks still want to use a bulk submitter. I'm not here to sway anyone from doing either direction. I will say that, and again, I'll record to discuss some of my feelings a bit further. It's going to be interesting to see the direction things go. I'll put it that way. There's a lot of talk right now. There's a lot of speculation right now. And I don't know. I don't want to sit here and say what is or isn't going to happen. I can only speak on my thoughts and feelings about things, how they're being done, and what was said. So I'll share my some bits about that. But other than that, guys, like I said, the next order will be the last reveal. There's only 2 people in it, so I don't know how many people will pop on. I don't know how many people will watch this one. But to everybody out there that's ever watched, ever submitted, anything like that, the channel isn't going away, by the way. I'm still going to do content. But if you've ever submitted to SGC through us, or even just got on and watched the previews of the reveals or chatted, whatever, I appreciate it. My wife appreciates it. She actually said to me earlier when she knew I was going to do the reveal tonight, she's like, are you sad? You know, how are you not sad? And I was like, really, there's nothing to be sad about. The saddest part for me is knowing that we were a part of the growth and everything. I'm not saying that we can take full responsibility. By no means. We were a small part of everything that went on. But to know that we were there and helped along the way, it's sad to see that it looks like things are going to go back towards the opposite direction. And it feels like there was a lot of people that did a lot of work, put in a lot of effort, believed and trusted in a lot of things, and it's all going to be for nothing. That's the sad part to me. Collectors that have really enjoyed SGC, you know, hopefully they do continue on. Hopefully that they stay strong. They stay, where they're at today, and that everybody still continues to support them. But that's to be determined. We don't know which direction it'll go in terms of that. Just reading the pulse of the room, I don't know that it'll be as expected or as it's been. So I see Carlos in here. It's not the final countdown. I do have one more that I have to do. So this is not the final. This isn't the final. I have one more. But no, I just wanted to take the time, again, for anyone that pops on or watches on replay or whatever, just to explain a little bit. I'm not saying that I won't ever bulk submit again either. There are other options out there that could be offered. But I do want to take a break from it. I want to take some time. It's been 5 years. There was somebody that commented, and I read the comments. There was a ton of support. There was a ton of people that were thanking, for what we have done. And then there was those that didn't have a damn clue. There was one person that said, "You sound mad." No, I wasn't mad at all. I'm not mad at all. Obviously, you don't know me if you think that I was mad. I have done rants. I have been mad. That was far from mad. Carlos, on our podcast, Carlos has seen the roid rage mad when I was on the steroids for my arm and everything. I was far, way distant. I was, as Carlos likes to say, I was a healthy man of peace. I was far from mad. So don't think that I am upset over any of this. It's more, like I said, it's just sucks to see the effort. Peter, we joke around about all the things he said he was going to do as far as the podcast and all of that stuff. Setting all of that stuff aside, in terms of running the company and keeping it on track and building a brand, that man did a hell of a job. I mean, he brought SGC from, I was talking about it last night with John when we were recording. I remember going to shows and nobody would buy an SGC slab. They weren't in the cases. Like, people would look at it and wouldn't take it. And now you go and it's common to see them in majority of the cases at a show. So, good, bad, or indifferent how you feel on Peter. Again, he gave us one episode of a podcast. That's all we got. But, and there was some other things he said that he was going to do that never got around to. Outside of that, though, the man did a hell of a job building that company and getting it as a respectable number 2 in sports cards. So shout out to him. Shout out to the team that he has down there. I've worked closely with 2 individuals, and they've always been great. So anyway, enough of that. If anybody's got any questions while I'm showing the cards, feel free to ask. I'll give my answers or opinions if you have any questions, but otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and show the cards. So, all right. First up is Josh Thompson. Oh, before I get into it, there are people on our list that still have credit. I want to get at least this order done. I know the other 2. I don't think Ray has credit, and I think Richard has some for his shipping. I have to look. We have a list. Everybody that has credits, I need to get with you to figure out how you want payment sent, because I don't want to keep your money. We've always kept a running list of the credits, and if it's been used on shipping or whatever, I've always tried to update everybody and let them know like how much was left, or if they didn't have any left or whatever. So if you have credit, I need to find a way how you want me to get the payment back to you, because I know some folks may not have PayPal, may not have Zelle or whatever. So I'll have to figure out if y'all want a money order or however we do it. That way I can get the payment back. I don't want to keep anybody's money, so gotta make sure I clarify that. So first off, for Josh, this one I don't have an answer for, but it was a Lemieux Yager dual relic auto. It says too large right there, too large to holder. The problem is, and why I'm confused, is it fits loosely in a 181 touch, and they are capable of doing 180 point cards. So not quite sure why they did not do this one, but according to them, it was too large to holder. So we'll go with that. All right. Start out with a O-Pee-Chee Joe Sakic in a 7.5. That would be funny, just dropping episode 2 just out of the blue. This is an Arbor, not pronouncing his last name, and a 9.5 Young Guns. Kaprizov in a 9. This is Lane Hudson in a 9. Eric's favorite, Jeremy Swayman in an 8. Here's a Richie Pettibone in a 2.5, 1962 Topps. Mike Ditka rookie in a 4. Largent in a 5. This is 04 Fleer, Greats of the Game, Ken Stabler in a 7. Auto. This was a nice one. Sign of the Times, Upper Deck from 03 SP Authentic out of 900. Peyton Manning got a 9.5 with a 10 auto. Here is a Arch Manning Fearless Red Ice from Prism Draft, got a 10. Obsidian Sam Darnold Electric Etch out of 10, got a 9. Dorsett rookie in a 7.5. Staubach rookie in a 5. Here is a 58 Topps Unitas in a 3. Yeah, there was no Rosen in this one. We have had Rosen recently, but we have not had, there was no Rosen in this one. 89 Hoops Bird in a 9.5. Montana rookie and a 7. This is Pokemon Promo Charizard EX and an 8.5. This is 16 Pokemon Generations Sylveon EX and an 8. Brock Bowers Prism Draft Red Flash and a 9. Josh Allen Don Russ and an 8. Another 2018. 01 Fleer Greats of the Game Dave Casper auto. 8.5 with a 10 auto. CJ Stroud Chrome Green Refractor out of 99. 9 with a 10 auto. Got 95 Fleer Metal Dan Marino and an 8. Jim Brown rookie and a 2. Project 70 Otani DJ Ski and a 9.5. Project 70 Ermsey Randy Johnson and a 9.5. This is Sport Kings Volume 2 Robin Yount out of 10. Autograph relic and a 9. And then 69 Tall Boy Walt Frazier in a 6. So that is Josh Thompson's. Get these boxed back up. Alright, next up, I got my boy Guns. I don't know if he'll be tuning in because I've been seeing him post on Facebook. Looks like he's up in the Seattle area on a little vacay. Me and the wife went to Myrtle Beach last week. Had a good time. Was nice sitting out on the deck of the hotel room, listening to the waves and feeling the breeze come in. That was calming. Very nice. Garbage Pail Kids Adam Boom Blue Garbage Pail Kid header got an 8. Playoff Momentum Kurt Warner Stargazing die cut out of 50 and an 8. Earl Campbell rookie in a 5. This is 89 Pro Cards, Mark McGuire, and an 8. Here's 94 Action Packed, Michael Jordan, and a 9. And last up is a Tony Gwynn Topps rookie and a 7.5. So there you go, Guns. Next up, we got Card Seller. Start them out with an 02 SP Authentic double relic of Patrick Ramsey and Tom Brady and a 9. 2017 Bowman's Best Aaron Judge and a 9.5. Topps Chrome Black Green Refractor out of 99 Dylan Cruz, 9.5 with a 10 auto. 2025 Topps Chrome 1990 Auto Gold Refractor out of 50 Chipper Jones, 9.5 with a 10 auto. And then last up is a 25 Chrome 90 Design Gold Refractor out of 50 Derek Jeter and a 10. Those are Card Sellers. That is true. I'm surprised they didn't recycle 87 again. Like, just keep giving us 87, like 35th anniversary over and over and over. I think they could have pulled it off. But we have to be thankful of one thing, Carlos. Let's look at the positives here. Next year, they'll use 1991. And at least, unless somebody pulls a very... Billy at Upper Deck better not pull this trick. But what if they did the 35th anniversary of 1991 Fleer? Like, I don't know if it would be a good gag and people would buy it, or if it would be the true end to the hobby. I'm not quite sure where we would be at on that. But it could happen, and we are only 6 months away from the possibility of it happening. So it could happen. All right, next up I got Pharrell. Starting off with an Obsidian Spencer Rattler out of 99, Rookie Materials Inc. 9 with a 10 auto. Yeah, it would either be a great gag or it would be the end of the hobby. Jerome Brown, 88 tops and a 9. Tops complete set variation, Julio Rodriguez and a 9.5. Leaf Metal, Fire Mojo Monumental Auto Dylan Cruz 101, got a 9. Bobby Witt Jr., complete set variation, got a 10. And this one here, I'll show everybody. I cracked this out for Pharrell. It was a PSA 7. And it is now an SGC 8.5. This is the Gunnar Henderson 5-star purple out of 50 auto. So there you go, Pharrell. I'll send that label back with him. All right. Next up, I have Drew, and I don't know if Drew is watching, but I got a question because I cannot remember because it's been almost 2 months since I did this order, but we'll get into it in a second. Fleer Greats of the Game, Dave Parker, nickname Greats Auto, the Cobra, got a 9. Chrome Bo Nix Refractor, got a 9.5. The 14-15 School Shop ABA Liga Team Photo, got an 8.5. Topps Archives Scott Ian Heavy Metal Auto, got an 8.5. This is the Allen & Ginter Matt Besser Mini Auto. Now, this one got authentic. I could have swore that I had them all, like they were all marked that you just wanted authentic only. I might have been wrong and this was the only one. I cannot remember exactly. But I'll get with you. I'll get with Drew if he's not watching or doesn't watch the playback on it and lets me know. They graded the other ones. So here's the Iron Sheik. It got a 9.5 with a 10 auto. And I know Drew sometimes just asks for those to be authentic. That's why I want to make sure that that was right. And I don't know why they would have done one and not the others if they were all marked, but I'll get with him and find out. Chrome WWE Blue Refractor out of 150, Wendy Chu. Got a 9.5 with a 10 auto. Here's another Ginter Mini Lawrence Rocks. Got a 9 with a 10 auto. Dukes of Hazzard from 83 Don Russ Through the Air General Lee Flying. Got a 9.5. This is Garbage Pail Kids Screwball Lou. Got a 6. Another Ginter Mini Auto Dude Dad out of 50. Got an 8. Tyrese Halliburton Crystal Crown Royale. Got a 10. De'Aaron Fox Prism Rookie. Got a 9. The Dude Dad, yep. Panini Prestige Acetate 8.5. Panini Stickers Nikola Jokic European and a 9.5. And an Optic Cade Cunningham and a 9. So, there you go, Drew. All right. Next up is Aaron Langley. Got a Prism Orange Disco Caleb Williams and a 9.5. Mosaic Debut Blue Reactive Caleb Williams and a 10. Prism Green Fireworks Williams and a 9.5. Inception Bowman U Williams 9.5. Mosaic Green Drake May 8.5. This is a Malik Neighbors Red Wave Optic Preview and a 10. Red Wave Optic Preview Jaden Daniels and a 10. Prism Bo Nix and an 8. Orange Disco Lad McConkey Prism and a 9. Purple Shock Optic JJ McCarthy and a 9.5. Finest Blue Refractor out of 99 Caleb Williams and an 8.5. Emmitt Smith Tops Traded and an 8. Pink Optic Preview Drake May and a 9.5. Mosaic Base Caleb Williams and a 9.5. Orange Disco Rome Adunze, I think that's how you pronounce it, 9.5. Prismatic Green Wave Jaden Daniels, and this one got a 7. Prestige Extra Points Diamond Jaden Daniels and a 9.5. And an Absolute Red and Blue Jaden Daniels and a 9.5. Alrighty. Alright, the last one is going to be Ted. Find out from him if he is back in Virginia or if these got to be shipped. All right. These are all going to be 61 Fleer basketball. So here's a Bob Leonard in a 6.5. Hey Ray, how are you doing? Here's John McCarthy in a 5.5. If you just got on, Ray, I let everybody know in the beginning, the next order, the one that was sent after this one, I looked yesterday and it was in post grading. So I would expect, unless they messed up and put it ahead, it should be finished up either by the end of this week or beginning of next week, I would expect. Paul Horizon in a 6.5. And that's the one that has your stuff, Caden, and Richard Rush. Phil Jordan in a 6. John Kerr in action got an 8. Dolph Shays got a 7.5. Paul Horizon in action, 7.5. George Lee in a 7. Jerry West in action, authentic trimmed. Jack Twyman, 5.5. Guy Rogers, 5.5. Bob Pettit, 4.5. Hal Greer, 4.5. John Kerr in a 7. Frank Selvey in a 7. Richie Gyron in action in a 5.5. Don Ole in a 7. Elgin Baylor in action in a 4. Larry Costello in an 8. Bob Cousy in action, 6.5. Casey Jones in a 6. Wayne Embry, 6.5. Walter Dukes in a 4. Richie Gyron in a 7. Larry Costello in a 5. Bob Pettit in action in a 6. Dolph Shays in action in a 6. Tom Gola, 7.5. Tommy Heinsohn in a 6. Rudy LaRusso, maybe Daniel LaRusso's dad or grandfather, in a 7. And Dave Gamby in a 6.5. So that rounds out this order. Like I said in the beginning, the next order I expect it'll probably be finished up here soon. It is in post grading. And then that will finish up the SGC submissions. If anybody's seen anything that was labeled wrong that I didn't catch or whatever, let me know. That way I can get it all corrected and everything. If you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to reach out. The Facebook group will continue. I'm going to plan on start sharing the collection of stuff. I miss it back when everybody was like having a good time just talking about cards and stuff. So might just start doing some of that. The YouTube channel is not going anywhere. I still do the podcast with the two fools that we drop on Tuesday mornings, Carlos and Eric. That's not going anywhere unless they choose to. And I'll still be doing videos and everything. So, yeah, things are going to continue on as usual. Just we're not going to be doing the SGC submissions, and that was a personal choice. Just because I didn't want to charge people more than SGC themselves charges. So, want to clarify all of that. And yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Appreciate all of you that hopped on, watched, either now or in the future. And as always, guys, stay safe, stay healthy. And until the next video, I'm out.